Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so thanks to Ticket TV, we know that Anthony Davis is going to be playing, but LeBron James is going to be out. Bron's got the foot going on, man, and it's one of those situations where I knew that was an issue, and I said we hadn't talked about it enough in regards to all that's been wrong with his shot, but he did, in fact, have that issue lingering from the Utah Jazz game. So he played through it yesterday, looked as horribly as he did, and he's going to give it a rest as I anticipated would be a good idea. Fact of the matter is, it's a back to back, and on top of that, it's altitude. And the elephant in the room is I think the team has played a lot better without him as of late. So all of that just lends itself to it being a good idea that he just sit it out, man. Let the team run. Let Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis have the focal point tonight, since Anthony Davis is obviously upset about not getting the ball in the fourth quarter over the last 3 games, which I was listening to the Kaminsky brothers, and they were essentially explaining to us exactly how bad AD's fourth quarter woes have been. I think they said, and I cannot believe this, which is why I think I'm probably wrong in my quoting what they're saying, but 3 attempted shots in the last 3 fourth quarters. 3 attempted shots, not misses, not makes, but just that's all he shot in the last 3 games in the fourth. And clearly, there's something terribly wrong. I thought that I was tripping when I was watching him yesterday in the fourth quarter, and he was not scoring for like a good 9 minutes of basketball play. I'm watching play after play after play after play where he's barely touching the ball. If he does, he's immediately hot potatoing it, and I just didn't see the desire for him to get the ball, and I was wondering what the heck was going on. I could not make any sense of what I was seeing in regards to his psychology. It didn't make no sense, and I broke that down to you in my mind and in the last video. And when I was done making that video, I was made aware that he had mentioned how he was not very happy about that and how he needs to be more aggressive. And my thing is, yes, he does, and it's on everybody, including the coaching staff and the other players on the team, to see the fruit in what will help the team ultimately be most successful and play as a team. If I'm Troy Brown, I know damn well I am not the person that should be taking the most shots in the fourth quarter. Even if AD's tripping and doesn't want the ball, I'm still going to be looking to try to make plays for him, and that's it, because I know that's what's going to make me win the game as a player on the team. And see, that's what I'm not seeing enough of. Guys are looking around either trying to be mechanical, living up to whatever the play needs to be running, or they're thinking about their own thing and trying to get their stats. It's not enough of the energy that I need to see out there. So that's what it is. It's a lot of guys who are kind of being overly unselfish, since they know they play with 3 superstars. They just know they're not going to get the ball. I need us to shake that off. We need to identify those players and put them in lineups where their strengths are accentuated, and then from there, work those lineups into regular rotation in practice. You see what I'm saying? And get those guys used to becoming more aggressive at doing the things that they're naturally good at. If I'm Austin Reeves, I'm putting him on the floor with guys who are going to be recipients of plays. I want him to get better at making plays for others. He's a hockey assist guy, as we always talk about, an offensive rebound guy, a guy who tends to try to put himself in positions to do what the team needs to do in momentum situations. Is very good down the clutch. When you give him opportunities to control things when it matters most, he goes into a Kobe-like mode. We've only seen it twice, but we know it's there. So it's one of those things where it's like, I need to see him in those circumstances with players around him who can do things that help him succeed. And it's going to take time for Darvin Ham to do that. It might take more than a year for him to find the right clusters of all of those different lineups, which is why it's hard to say that we need to see perfection right away, because it's literally the beginning of the season. And that is why I'm not so upset about AD and what I've been seeing in the fourth quarter of these last 3 games, because I think it's been such a glaring problem early in the season that we could start putting some attention to it and having it worked out by mid-season or what have you. We don't have to continue this tendency. So that's what I'm seeing. You know, the team has a good pattern of seeing what is done wrong and addressing those things. That's what I'm seeing in the numbers from game to game to game. And also a trajectory of, okay, we're really struggling at something, but we know that we are going to address those things and get incrementally better at those things. Now other things get neglected, which is why we're continuing to find struggles, but that's how the team seems to be operating. And I think that's okay, because what you end up doing is working out the tendencies that otherwise need to be worked out early enough. So it's just about letting Darvin Ham build what he's trying to build. And I think he's one of those guys who tries to instill confidence in people. Hey, go out there and do this. Hey, go out there and try that. And I just think it goes to the detriment of the team early on right now when guys don't know one another and don't know him. So I don't know. I mean, it's early. He's a rookie coach, but I love what I'm seeing in some very key areas, which is why I think this is a great hire for us. I just think that the expectations are too much too soon and impossible, because the team just ain't that good to begin with. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. We're asking guys to do too much, and we're not getting enough out of the people that we pay to do a lot, and that's what it comes down to. I just think the Lakers should make a trade. You know, I like Anthony Davis a lot, but I think the evidence shows us that it makes a lot of sense to get something for him now. In the last 3 games, we've had fourth quarters where nothing is happening, and now he's unhappy. He didn't talk to the media yesterday. It's time to see what we can get for the guy. Clearly, LeBron James is somebody we cannot trade, right? Because of the contractual situation there. He will not be someone that would even be up for trade until summertime. So we know that, and we won't think of that. Obviously, Russell Westbrook's situation is very, very simple. His contract's too expensive to hold on to if we want to win a championship. But since we're not a championship team and he's playing well, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of fans that don't have any problem seeing him stay with us, so long as he keeps doing what he's been doing. In fact, I'm one of them. That doesn't mean I want to keep him at $47 million. But if we just so happen to not get a trade for him, while he just so happens to be playing the way he had been playing for the last 3 days, we can just keep that up, and from game to game to game, people will be happy to see him every day. Sure, that's just what it will be, regardless of what the realities of our circumstance will be. We'll be happy to see him every day. And so that's what it's about. It is contingent, I guess, if that's the way you want to hang that on, whether or not the team is winning. You know what I mean? But I think people are starting to appreciate Russell Westbrook and the story of it all. We know how much he struggled, right? We know how much they bullied him in the media. We know how good of a guy he is. We know how great of a guy he was in his previous years. And we know the athleticism isn't completely gone, because we've seen him shot out of a cannon and dunk on people plenty of times in our uniform. So it's like it has to be here. So Laker fans understand that is the case. And because we know he's a really fiery person with a very unique personality, now I think people are starting to take to him. They understand him better than they did last year. They don't take offense to him taking offense, because we know that if we give him good energy, he's going to throw good energy back at us. So once you start understanding the person, then you start wanting to see him succeed. And I think that's where the Laker fans are at with him. We're at a point where we knew that we had seen the worst of him last midday game when he threw the ball at the side of the backboard. That was rock bottom. We could not get any worse than there. There is nowhere to go but up from there, and he's been going up ever since. So that's where we're at with Russell, man. I just wish that LeBron James could be happy for him. And what that means is not happy for him, but happy while he's happy, so that happiness can be happy while he's happy. Do you understand what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. It's hard for the team to be happy when LeBron James is unhappy. But there's every reason to be happy, because Russell Westbrook's finally happy. You see what I'm saying? So it's like we can't have that dynamic as to where I'm not going to be happy unless you unhappy, and you ain't going to be happy unless I'm unhappy. If that's the dynamic, then guys just got to get their frequency up and understand that they got to do this together whether they like it or not. You know what I mean? That's what it is. It's a low frequency type of thing if that's what's happening there. And that's what I'm sensing. So I'm just going to put it out there. I think it's a good idea that LeBron James sit this game out. Like I said, I don't even think he should have flew to Utah. I don't imagine he did. But just don't be out there right now. Let Russell Westbrook shine. Let him and AD get the bulk of what it is that goes on tonight. If they're playing well, obviously we'll play it by ear. But I just think LeBron James has been He's been an ugly duckling in the presence of a lot of good things. And if you remove the bad shooting and you remove the bad play, you're going to get a team that probably is happy right now. They're a very happy team, if not for that. That's what I think. I think this team has a lot of reason to be pleased with itself. I just think that Anthony Davis ultimately needs to get more aggressive in the fourth quarter. We're looking at him in the first half of these games that we're talking about. He disappears in the fourth quarter, and you realize he's not just playing okay. He's balling out in all these games. That's another thing. It's like, let's do things that make sense. If a guy is having a hot game, don't have him disappear in the second half. Feed him. Feature him. And don't leave it up to him to be featured in his own, to call for the ball. He ain't gonna shack it. He ain't gonna Andrew Bynum it, as the Kaminsky brothers had mentioned. Andrew had a moment where he called for the ball back in the day, and Sasha didn't give it to him, and they told a dope story that I'd forgotten about. But it's the truth. Like, some people are just not like that. So what do? You disarm them of that. No, we're gonna call 5 plays for Anthony Davis in the fourth quarter, in the first 6 minutes of the quarter, and we're gonna make sure that we feature him. And if you know what I mean, if for some reason we can't do that, then we just shift away from it. But that should be the point. Feature him and look to feature him, and don't leave yourself no out to that, because we're breaking shots. It's not like we're running great plays in those situations anyway. We're throwing the ball away. We got guys who shouldn't be shooting the ball in those situations shooting the ball, and it's bad for our team. I mean, just in general. As I said, even those guys should see that that's not going to help them get the win. That's not what you want if you want to win. Get the ball to your best player and get out the way. So that's where I'm at with it, man. It's a lot of things to see there, but ultimately, if the Lakers are thinking properly, they will trade Anthony Davis and get us back a bunch of picks and things that we can start resetting our timeline with at any moment. Any moment, they need to do this. Because at the end of the day, this team ain't good enough to win a championship. Even though I'm having fun with them, you know what I mean. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I'm excited about them exploding, you know what I mean. But it's just not about this year. It's about where our franchise is at and how many teams we can believe in as we go forward over the next several years. We like this cluster, but do we believe in them? We're going to keep putting together clusters of team that we don't believe in because of these disadvantageous positions that we put ourselves in, trying to force this LeBron James tenure to work. It's going to be another team full of okay guys, and then the year after that, it's going to be some okay guys with some youngsters. We can do better if we start just doing certain things right now to help our team reset that process. So, yeah. Few things I'm looking around at. I don't think I want to make this a video about anything else, but what I will say is there are some players around the league who are young, who might be struggling right now, who look like they could be on the verge of their teams maybe losing faith in them. I don't know if teams are stupid enough to do something like that or not, but it's just something that I'd take a look at if I were a GM looking for an opportunity at a young player. Like I said, in the summertime, there are going to be ways to now put proper price tags on the players that are available to trade for. Because you've seen them now for a couple weeks. Some of them guys you thought were going to be crazy, great out the gate, and they weren't. Other guys you thought were going to play okay, and then they turn out to be something else. And then you got the case of like Paolo Banchero, of whom obviously you thought was going to be really good. And out the gate, now it looks like he's going to be an all-star. So there's stuff like that going on. It's like, okay, Lauri Markkanen, for example, clearly his value is way up. Now you're not going to be able to get him for the same price as you would have in the offseason, so on and so forth. What I want the Lakers to look for is the discounts. The discounted players, the players that do not look that great right now, but we know have upside like crazy. Mo Bamba, I've been saying his name a million times. They are not using him out there. They found Bol Bol in Orlando, and they don't basically use Bamba to the way that they've paid him. We could use him more than they're using him. That's not a bad contract for us. It's a bad contract for them, simply put. Because we can get way more out of him than they are. That's somebody we need to be trying to target right now. This is not something that seems possible to me. But I'm looking, if I'm another team in an entirely different situation, I'm taking a look at this. Jabari Smith in Houston. He's having ankle issues. They just drafted him with the third pick in the draft, and we know damn well they wanted Paolo Banchero. Everybody thought Jabari Smith was going to Orlando. They were positioning themselves to let Christian Wood go and bring in Paolo Banchero. Letting Christian Wood go and bringing in Jabari Smith is not what they wanted. That's not an upgrade, and that was not the fit they were looking for. They just happened to get that fit. He's not necessarily looking good to start his career with the injuries. The fact they got so many other mouths to feed on the team. This ain't a good way to start. That looks like it's headed in the wrong direction. I don't want to speak no bad energy into his career, but I'm just saying you've seen situations like this before where it's set up this way and then it goes Marvin Bagley. Do you understand what I'm saying? If a team can get him out of there, the team that has a vision for him, I think they will get out of him what they're supposed to get out of him. Because that Houston situation, that is not it. After seeing him play, I can tell you, Jabari Smith shouldn't be there no more. Nope. It's a bad fit. He doesn't appear to get along with some of the players. You're not able to see him and feature him because of how they play versus what he does. He's nearly the only, well, I don't want to say this because I don't watch him enough, but I don't think they have a whole lot of help in terms of defense. And like I said about teams like this, they have so many players that are high-level players, they're only going to be able to pay a few of them, right? So one would think he would be one of the ones that need to be paid, but if he's going to be heading in the wrong direction, they would be wise to see that early and let him go, because they don't want to get to a situation where his value plummets or he becomes what he's supposed to be but doesn't love the fit and ends up bolting, as to which they lose him anyway. So maybe if you wait that long, obviously you get more for him, but the path to him developing into that player, it looks kind of murky given the fit. It just doesn't, I don't know, maybe I'm just looking at it the wrong way, but that is not starting off the right way. For him to be a first overall pick prospect, third overall actual pick, looking at that situation, it looks bad. It looked bad to me. And if I were a team that had the value to get him out of there, I would get him out of there. Now, if that's the Los Angeles Lakers, hallelujah. But I don't see that with us. But somebody needs to get Jabari Smith up out of Houston early. That's all I got to say. So, yeah, I know that had nothing to do with the Lakers, but it's going to go on this video. It's just my opinion. Video 44. Thank you for watching. Out.